as all the part of his plan to get his chosen people back in position.
Ooh.
You know?
Woo!
Which now we're finding.
Yes, brother. Yes. Oh. Woo. I gotta let that sit right there for a minute. Hold on. Let me just let it sit there for a minute.
Fire.
Yeah. Because you know, it's so
it's just different when it's coming from you know, a non-black. When it's coming from Caucasian, you know,
no.
It's just different hearing it because you don't normally hear it from, you know, some of your brothers, and you know, it hits us different.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody, you know, a lot of my black brothers and sisters at times are upset at you.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yeah, you have to wait for a white man to say it before you embrace it.
Yeah.
Well, I believe there's folds in there. Yes, you know, according to the Willie Lynch letters and the things that we've done in your history, we've done that to put animosity between each of you, you know, because we know, number one, which is what we're seeing now, which is why white evangelical and Republicans are upset, is because they see in the unity. And we know, according to Willie Lynch, too, that if your slaves are unified, you're going to get revolts and you're going to lose out. So you leave them divided. And then you also put mistrust among them.
Right.
So number one, you trust me because that's what's been instilled. But I also think that sometimes it's like this. Of course, you 3, 4, 5 in this room are going to encourage each other and say one day it will get better.
Right.
One day, hold on.
Yeah.
Some of your songs, if I listen to your traditional songs, there's always that hope in there. We strive. But it's different if you're sitting in the pit during a war and the guard that's guarding you reaches down or looks down and says, hey, you all, the war's almost over. Your victory is right around the corner. To me, I hope it does something different. So I'm hoping that I'm just somebody on the enemy side, or used to be on the enemy side, that is hollering out this truth that I know from the inside with my white evangelicals or my white Caucasian family members, they're scared because a change is a-coming. And so hold on just a little bit. But it's not you encouraging each other. It's somebody even from the outside now that is validating that, yes, your change isn't a-coming. It's here.
Right.
Okay.
And, you know, excuse me, the thing is, you know, we as a race and, you know, the dividedness that you speak of, that's why it's so much, you know, well, skepticism is what I'm looking for. The skepticism in why we should really, really embrace what we don't know, learn. Because I think, you know, it's just so much defiance, and then we're so against one another.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so sad how it's manipulated, you know, and it really shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean?
I believe it's because Christianity has done that.
Yes,
to
yes.
you.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why why is it that you have the white evangelical church that will raise millions of dollars for this young man, Ryan, who left, Illinois and went up into Wisconsin, correct? And shot those 2 individuals.
Wow.
And yet you have our gang members out in the streets and our black churches degrade them. Instead of looking at them as leaders, young people who are living under the injustices of our nation, that their father is not there, not because all the fathers in jail that are black are a bunch of no-goods or robbers or this or that. It's because they're black. They are in a system where we didn't want the head males to be there. We can't have them be there because it will grow up men. And if we get strong black men, we again lose.
Wow.
So you know, that's what Christianity to me has even negatively affected the black church, because you beat up your own people. They're on marijuana, shame, let's march against them. But what do my people do now with the opiates or the white people drugs? How do we get them help? Or the white young man that walks into a school and blows away 18 children, we bring him out alive. Why? Because we want to see, how did society fail this poor young man?
Wow.
We bring out one of your, either he's not dead, or your own community is right there fighting against that individual instead of having the same mindset we do. Well, where does that mindset come? Because I think we've taught it to you. We've taught you to believe that your own people are animals.
From babies.
Look, can I say
Wild horses, as Willie Lynch said.
Can I say something? Let me tell you. We don't have the opportunity to pull out one of ours that done shot a bunch of people and save him. That's not how it happens. And when the police come for us, we can have a wild and get shot. You don't have to have a gun. So it's just something a little more than the evangelist church that protected Ryan. You know, because they couldn't raise this money for him if he had been treated like one of us who had went and shot 2 people walking down the street. You understand? And tried to turn himself in, raise his arms up. We wouldn't have had to do that.
Right.
Once they seen us with that gun, it might have been a problem. So, I mean, it's
If you were walking with confidence by yourself, it would have caused those officers to tilt their head and follow you. Because if you're going to walk with that much confidence, you're going somewhere, and we're going to find out where. It's just, I see it. I live in an all-black community. I see it all the time. You know, just because somebody's running, you're going to pull them over thinking they're running because they did drugs or something. No, maybe he's out taking a jog too.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just this whole flip of mindset. You know, our you know, I hear it a lot, you know, our black men are weak. No, they're not weak. They've been made, you know, to remain weak, let's say, you know. You can't beat them up. I'm a white man, and I can't imagine how it would feel to be a man that is never, ever embraced or uplifted, but always fighting. I can't imagine, because I struggle myself with my self-image and value of who I am, and even a mandate that God put on my heart. Can't imagine what my black brothers sitting at this table have to fight just to feel that they're worthy of breathing.
Normal.
Yeah, normal. Yeah.
And I think it's like, you know, you say about the weakness. It's certainly not the weakness physically. It's the weakness spiritually, where they're beat down. And it doesn't help when some of our, you know, some of the women, you know, we have a tendency of knocking, you know, the men down as well. And that's so sad, because it's just so much, so much going on.
And I think when the sister says that, in regards to the women versus the men in the church, our women always, to me, have been more spiritual. And our men who have suffered and suffered daily with the abuse that they suffer, they don't have that belief in a God that would serve them like they would probably serve a white man or a white woman. So our women oftentimes can be more spiritual because they hold more hope. But the individual who is suffering, they understand that, listen, every day I walk out the door, I don't know if I'm going to come home. So I can't have a faith in that type of system. I can't have a faith in the officers who come down the block in the car and not be killed in that regard. So I think there's a real difference between the faith in the spirit of a woman and the disbelief of a man, because they suffer more than black women. And it's only recently that our black women has been attacked the way they've been attacked. So it's just a little different in regards to that. But I like to say this, because I understand, I appreciate you, brother, that I believe in the church. I believe what's been given to the church has been an injustice to the world for far too long. Because when you think about Christ, and you think about the church in particular, you could read the law. It gives you a law of love and purity, but it's people and men that change that law. And when that law is changed and there's a man's idea, you get the racism that we see every day. So I think it goes back to changing that mindset. Where did that mindset come from? And when you get into that mindset, it gets deep. It's so deep to when the white man and woman first came over here in America. That deep. Or even deeper than that in history. The lies, the deceptions, and all the other particular forms. It's a deep. And the brother said it good, man. I mean, the Willie Lynch letters, if studied properly, it should be in every black household. Every man, woman, and child should study that letter. 23 pages.
Yeah, it's very short,
Very
but
short.
it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And it helped me understand, because most of the white chicks, or ladies, it's about weight. And what I've experienced amongst my Hebrew brothers and sisters and stuff, with the ladies, it's more about hair, But then you go back and then you look at those letters, and I think it mentioned something about the texture of their hair, pit them against each other, and pit them against each other if they're from the valley, serving the valley versus, from the mountaintop. So, and I think what's happened, though, is Christianity, because you are spiritual, and when I say spiritual, I mean I've been to Africa several times, and that's another reason why I know that you are the chosen, because, like you said, you have this innate hunger or this spiritual desire for God. You do. Even our brothers out on the street, when they get down and out, they will holler out to God. But I think, because Christianity has stripped away the black man's identity and value more than any other person, I sometimes just think, why would you want to turn to a God like that? You are kings, but yet you've been treated here as trash. Our ladies are queens. And I think sometimes with ladies, because of their makeup too, they may sit down and ponder things a little bit more, or, see things from a different position. But you as a man, I know that you as men want to take care of your family. You want to be able to go out and be that man and provide and this. But when that's taken from you over and over and over, I just think it's, us men are people too that it seems like women can be cheated on and they will regain trust in the man. But sometimes when us men have been cheated on, however that is, even if it's just a good friend, it's kind of over. I think that's sometimes how we are wired.
Right.
Women seem to be more forgiving on that part. And I think sometimes as a man, you may see like God has cheated on you, that he's just really turned his back on you. And it's kind of like, why do I want to run to him? And that's why I believe that as this word gets out, that these young men out on these streets are not thugs, but kings. And I always say they're not thoughts, they're queens.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to transform. It's going to transform.
It has to.
I believe that. But how do you get that word to resonate with those brothers that so-called, because I don't like calling them in gangs, youth organizations,
young leaders,
young people, young kings and queens, to adapt the idea that they're kings, they're queens, and see themselves as industrious.
I believe it's going to be an outpouring of a revival of the Spirit of the Most High Yah. I believe their hearts are going to be ripe, because see, as we move forward, we're going to need those ladies and those entrepreneurs in the businesses that are now going to be owned by Hebrews. They're incredible business owners. Just because they may sell drugs illegally because America made it illegal, because that's part of the way that we want to put you where we want to put you, doesn't mean they're not an entrepreneur. Doesn't mean I don't trust somebody that sells drugs. Why wouldn't I trust him? I mean, he's selling drugs. Doesn't make him a murderer. Doesn't make him a rapist. Doesn't make him, a thief. I mean, we're trusting our politicians, and I guarantee you they're going to have much greater of a rap than these guys out on the street.
Yeah.
Right.
And we don't trust them, but yet we
Trust